This program is made possible by American Senior Benefits Wichita is all about your peace of mind. We specialize in asset protecting, safeguarding your health, planning your estate, and preserving your freedom of choice. We're here to work through all of this with you. American Senior Benefits Wichita proudly supports PBS Kansas. The Candle Club, a place where friends, food, and music come together. Currently, we offer live entertainment every night except Sundays. Enjoy our delicious specialty appetizers and the Candle Club Signature Prime Rib. More about upcoming events at candleclubwichita.com. Home Health and Hospice of Kansas is a locally owned and community-based provider. We offer quality health care to our patients and families, complete with love, warmth, and compassion. We'll take care of all of the details for you. More information at kansashomehealth.com. Welcome to Cedric Plaza Retirement Community. Our living options are designed to suit your specific needs and activities that you're sure to love. We believe you'll be able to see yourself here, enjoying time with friends and family. For more information, cedricplaza.org.
Welcome to Empowering Seniors. I'm your host, Catherine Ambrose, and tonight we're visiting with John Dugan. Welcome, John.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for being on the show. So, John, you built Dove Estates, and you built a lot of things in Goddard. Can you tell us about your history as a builder?
Well, I was actually a trucker and a farmer, and I owned the land here. So we decided to develop east of Goddard because they was going to move the bypass east of Goddard, which they did, and that's why we got the new Walmart, and that was sort of the main thing. We got the new church which we built, and then the bank, and now we got in fact, we're just getting a new Brahms.
So it sounds like you had a big vision for Goddard.
It seemed like it was a lot of years, so we didn't have to, but a lot of development of housing. We got a housing development, the Seasons and the others behind us, and so that's all been a positive move. And then, of course, we thought about building the Dove, which was Church of the Holy Spirit. See, so we named the Dove because the Church of the Holy Spirit come in on a dove, in the form of a dove. That's what I got.
How long did you think about building this before you got started?
Probably about 3 or 4 years. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking about doing it closer to Wichita, and then somebody told me that if they do a new Walmart, which we finally got built, build it out there, and that's why we built it out here. Little did I know I was going to have a stroke and move in, because see, I started this in 13, actually in 12, and it opened up March the 1st of 14, and that's when I moved in.
So you didn't know you were building your own home?
No. Mm-hmm. No. I hired a architect, Justin Parks, and his father-in-law, Coonrod, built it. And I worked with him to design it, all the things that my mother was in a home, and I did all the things that I thought should be improved from that home that she was in. It seemed like, and of course, things had improved in the meantime, different ways of building, but just give it more common area and bigger hallways and more light, and that's what we did here.
And what were some of the other things that were important to you?
One of the things that I noticed when I went into some of the other homes, that you could smell them, and I made sure of the heating and cooling here, that we have all the exhaust, incoming air and outgoing exhaust. Every room has a kitchen. And you don't really use the kitchen a lot, but people miss it if they don't have it.
Did you have any input on what you thought should be available for fitness and what you thought should be available for food? And
it was a large lighted fitness room so that people feel good about coming in. So we have the Locomat here and the Armio to help the brain work the arm and leg and so on.
And hopefully maintain a better quality of life and more mobility.
Yes, absolutely. And you can go there anytime, night or day. We also have our hallways is a quarter of a mile around it, and so if you walk 4 times, you get a mile, and you can walk any time of the day or night or any weather.
So residents are encouraged to move and visit and...
Absolutely, you know, that's one of the most important things. If everybody feels better if they get up and move. They don't want to sit in that chair all the time, and be able to see other people even when they're out just walking or in the fitness room, to be able to see what's going on in the other parts of the building, and it helps them, helps their attitude and their mental.
And so who runs the day-to-day operations
Well,
here?
that's Jill. She's one of the 5 girls. For the 5 girls, I built it, and then I give it to the 5 girls.
So when Dad, 7, 8 years ago, came to us about owning Dove Estates and running it, we were a little surprised because it was something our family hasn't been involved in. And so myself and 4 sisters have taken upon the responsibility of Dove Estates. My sister Diane and I are the managing partners here because my other sisters live away. What I refer to many times as Dad's dream became my destiny.
That is something to be proud of. And so it's become your destiny. So how does that destiny look to you?
God, in His own timing, knows that where we are in our life, what we want to be when we grow up, changes decade to decade sometimes. Raised our family, and in the midst of doing that, this came about. So being able to, not knowing what our gifts are until God, hands you something and says, He doesn't call the qualified, He qualifies the called. And that's really what I felt when we took over this huge responsibility. And we care for a vulnerable part of society here in this building, and we're proud of that. I get to know them all personally. I'm here almost every day. The directors work hand in hand with me. They take my ideas and run with it. The vision and mission that we have as a family into this business is what they carry out. So that being my destiny, I can't imagine doing anything else right now.
There's always a new era, and they're of the new era. We've been open 7 years, so, and they're keeping it up in real good shape. It looks just brand new. So,
how does it make you feel watching your daughters make this place run?
Well, it makes me feel good. Yeah, sure. Always makes me feel good.
Have your daughters thought of things that surprised you or added to your vision?
Well, when we were building it, I let them do all the decorating and the furnishings. They did all that. I have nothing to do with that. The colors, and it's been a good move. Did
Dove Estates turn out to be what you had envisioned in your mind?
I think it's better than what I thought. Of course, I have changed also, so I don't know what I'd have been like either if I hadn't had a stroke. So, but as you know, I can still talk and still think. I'm still in business in other places. This is my home, and unless they kick me out.
Do you worry about that?
Unless I can't pay my bill.
Today I'm seated with Debbie Hatton. We're going to visit about what Debbie's family has recently gone through and the decisions they made along the way. Welcome, Debbie.
Hi.
Your parents were living almost at the Oklahoma border, right?
The Oklahoma-Texas border.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And so you live in Kansas.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I've lived here pretty much my whole life. They moved here when I was 3. And my dad went to work. It was when there were no jobs, and he came here, was able to get on at Beach Aircraft, and made a whole career here. And then they retired, and they went back home to Oklahoma, where they came from, and lived there about 20 years again. But the last few years were kind of a challenge for us. What caused them to come back here was that we had to airlift him to Denton, Texas. He was vomiting blood, and we didn't know, have any idea. The hospital in Idabel couldn't do anything. It's just a small town hospital. We got everything under control there, but they didn't want to release him from the hospital until we had a plan. That's when we started calling people, and my daughter had a business in Wichita, and she networks with a lot of people. And so that's how we heard about the Dove. It was short-lived for my dad. He was only here 2 weeks, but I do know that he was very happy with the facility and us knowing that Mom was gonna be here.
Now let's meet Debbie's mother, Evelyn. Evelyn, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You've had a lot happen in the last few months. Yes.
That's true.
How do you feel living so close to your daughter?
Well, it's nice. It's really nice.
That's got to help because you've had a big transition.
It takes a lot of responsibility away from me, and I'm enjoying it. I had the responsibility of seeing my husband was cared for when Debbie couldn't be there. I think we did pretty well, but it was always nice to have her come and take the responsibility off of me. We just couldn't have made it without her. And we could have hired somebody to clean and that sort of thing, but it's not easy in the country. Husband was easy to care for. He didn't complain about anything. And of course I miss him so much, but that goes with lots of people.
I would imagine it gave your husband peace to know that you were going to be near family and that you were in a home that you would enjoy.
Well, I'm sure it would too. He wanted to see that I was taken care of and taking a lot of the stress off of Debbie, having to drive 400 miles back and forth to be with us. It's been a big thing to move and get everything, and we couldn't have done it without Debbie.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Evelyn, for being on the show.
But thank you for having me.
And now let's get back to John Dugan.
I exercise every day. I stay up on the elliptical every day. I can't walk very good because I can't lift my foot, but the elliptical helps me, and I go on that 30 minutes and keep up on all the health things.
Well, and that's interesting too, John, because there are seniors perhaps living in their own home that aren't getting up and walking around the house. They might not be able to, or they might not have very much space.
That's right.
And having access to equipment daily could make a tremendous difference.
Yeah. I try to give them that example if I can every day.
So you're trying to be a good example.
Good example and show them to get out there and do it. Keep after it. Because I'm 86 years old. Now I'm getting to be, I'm not the older ones, but there's some people coming in that's younger than I am now.
Well, someone very close to me died. And I decided instead of staying in Iowa, my family's here, my sister's here, my 2 brothers are here, and my thousands of cousins are here. And my friends are here still from high school. And so I decided I wanted to come back to Kansas. It was a hard decision, and it took me a while to make the decision. And it wasn't an easy move I wanted to make this move into a retirement community because my condition's progressive. I'd be progressing from independent into dependent living. And I didn't want to move several times. If I was going to make a move, I was going to make a move. And I thought I could live in an apartment, I could live in a condominium, I could live in a house, but it seemed stupid to me. And so that's why I came to a retirement community.
I was so much older than her that I kind of left home when she was still small. So I never got to pick on her. So I'm having fun now. We're having fun being together.
That's great.
Getting to know each other, really.
When we moved here, I didn't intend to move away from home. My husband was still with me at the time. And Kara was looking for a place, and I was with her. And she says, oh, this is it. And I said, well, it's really nice. And I went home, talked to my husband, and he said, well, let's go look at it. So that he liked it too. We didn't intend to move out of our house, but we did. It was a surprise. He was here a year and then he passed away. So then I didn't have to worry about selling the house, getting rid of all the furniture and everything.
Go around and look at places and see what they're like. You'll find that it's amazing. The people that you meet are wonderful. I don't know as many people as Pat because I don't remember anything. I left here too early, I guess, but I enjoy meeting people. I enjoy hearing their stories. I enjoy sitting down with new people, getting to know different people almost every day. And it's a wonderful opportunity. And see what they have available, and see in terms of what the facilities are, and meet the people that run it, and just take the chance.
Because I talked to you several months ago, and you were driving back and forth all the time and wondering when is the right time. And your parents were not really wanting to move.
Exactly.
What did your dad say about wanting to stay in his ranch?
Well, my dad said and told me all the time that that's where he wanted to die. He didn't want to die in a hospital. He didn't want to move from there. But, you know, when it comes right down to that time of life, it's really hard to do that, you know. And my mom, thank goodness, she had a way with my dad, and she says to him, you know, Debbie has been coming down here for years and staying 2 to 6 weeks at a time, and it's just not fair for her to be away from her family all the time, even though my family was, you know, they're on board, whatever we needed to do, but it just wasn't. She says, it's not fair to Debbie, and I think we need to get an apartment up there in Wichita and be closer so it's not so hard on her and everyone.
Because you were missing time with your children and your grandchildren.
Yeah, and my husband, thank goodness I have a husband that was very understanding, but he went through a similar thing with his parents years before that, so.
And so you were already working on maybe making a move, but it was the crisis in the hospital that made it happen faster.
Well, actually, it was after he came home from the hospital that Mom kind of presented it to him in a way that he could feel good about it, you know. But they made it right for him because they got us signed up with the home health and hospice, and they were right there for us.
So a team of professionals worked together to make sure that you covered all your bases.
I mean, the night we got here, or the next day, they were here with us as soon as we signed up the, you know, did all the paperwork, and they were there for hours. They were there late into the night.
And professionals like that work at senior living facilities all across the country, they're very heart-centered people, and they they help families figure things out. And
Well, and they just know. They know. We didn't know what to do. And you know, they just got everything all set up for us, and there was no worries once we got here.
what would you suggest to other daughters or granddaughters about how to know when it's time?
Well, I think I knew it was time long before we did anything about it, but I was trying to do what I thought my dad wanted, you know. But when it comes right down to it, you have to just do what's best for everybody that's going to be left, too. And it's never easy, but there comes a point when you just know you have to do what's best for everybody involved. I guess there's no easy way to know. You just know in your heart. My mom would still love to be living in her house down there, but there's just no way she can take care of it. And it's too far away for us to maintain it. And so it's just, you know, it's just a new phase of life, and I think that she's going to get a lot of enjoyment out of being here. And you know, it's just another phase, you know.
Well, thank you, Debbie, for being on the show. And let's get back to our conversation with John. John, is there anything else that you would like to say to Kansas viewers, maybe something that would uplift seniors that are going through challenging decisions?
I think it's one of the things I think that I always think about is that most people have a hard time leaving home. And of course, once they get that move made, then they feel good about it. So we try to make them feel good about their move. And they need to take it. They'll live longer if they come in and get with other people and exercise and keep their health a little, eat right, keep the right meds, and think a little more positive, not just that they feel bad about being old. Because you're really not, you're just as old as you feel. And so I think that a lot of people will, and we always remember, we're full now, but we always got a room for them anytime they want to move, at least talk to us.
What would you say to the adult kids that might be in their 60s, or they might be younger, they might be older? What would you say to the adult kids to give them some advice?
Well, some of the I would say that a lot of my kids are almost old enough to move in, you know, they're getting in their 60s now. So, and I think they always wait too long. And they can live here, live in the villas, and still have their own home, if you want to call it that, and travel, do what they want to do. They don't have to be stuck right here all the time. And as they get a little older and maybe not do as much, then they come on into assisted living.
So John, how challenging do you think it is for adult children to help their aging parents make a move like this?
I think that most of them want to take care of them as best they can in their own home, and then sometimes they even move them into their own home, into their home with the kids. And but I think that if they only could think about it a little bit more positive in a lot of cases.
Because sometimes children are under a tremendous amount of pressure because the parents don't want to move. It can, there's a lot of fear around making a big move, and adult kids are often under a lot of pressure to honor wishes, and that you feel like they could actually be improving their quality of life by bringing them home with them or helping them find a great place.
Yes, but in my early day when I was young, we took care of our grandmother in the home, and not all the time, but quite a bit of the time. And while she was there, we enjoyed her at some point in time, but then sometimes it would become a big burden for my mother to take care of her, you know, but things would happen and so on. And so I think that as I look back, this has been that's one of the things that encouraged me to go out and build And I thought for a long, you know, that people are getting older. Of course, that's always the way it is. But so we get a lot of the outskirts or other smaller towns bring in their mothers and dads. And I've noticed lately we've gotten some people from New Hampshire and from Ashland, Kansas, and now of course this lady this morning from Oklahoma. So many of our people are coming in. Their kids live near here, and so they're bringing their parents in to us here.
Quite a legacy, John.
Yeah, thank you.
And thank you for being on the show.
Sure, thank you.
And thank you for watching. Until next time, I'm Catherine Ambrose. If you have questions about our series, you can reach me at empoweringseniors@kpts.org or give me a call at 316-686-4500. Until next time, this is Empowering Seniors.
This program is made possible by American Senior Benefits Wichita is all about your peace of mind. We specialize in asset protecting, safeguarding your health, planning your estate, and preserving your freedom of choice. We're here to work through all of this with you. American Senior Benefits Wichita proudly supports PBS Kansas. The Candle Club, a place where friends, food, and music come together. Currently, we offer live entertainment every night except Sundays. Enjoy our delicious specialty appetizers and the Candle Club Signature Prime Rib. More about upcoming events at candleclubwichita.com. Home Health and Hospice of Kansas is a locally owned and community-based provider. We offer quality health care to our patients and families, complete with love, warmth, and compassion. We'll take care of all of the details for you. More information at kansashomehealth.com. Welcome to Cedric Plaza Retirement Community. Our living options are designed to suit your specific needs and activities that you're sure to love. We believe you'll be able to see yourself here, enjoying time with friends and family. For more information, cedricplaza.org.